to send me to this committee, which I have no problem with, coming to any committee or any place or anywhere. But when I tried to even explain that save time of Parliament, you know, we even in court, if you save court's time, it helps. And I want to explain, I want to take this really rare opportunity for the sake of our Parliament, for the sake of our country, that our life, some of us, my biggest role in this Parliament has been to cool things. Has been to cool things when there is conflict, when there is opposition, because we belong to different groups, and there is a record in Parliament. I can give you an experience in the past when the opposition refused to leave Parliament and the government side left, and because of our record of working with all people, the opposition said we will not get out until we have assurance from the UPDF. And I went with Honorable Sarah and Power at the time in that Parliament and convinced the opposition, and they left Parliament and there was peace. Much of the work that we have been doing, and why some of us could have been brought back, is to continue looking for harmony, looking for peace, looking for security, using all ways that help the country. So, I'm stating that I was very, very disappointed and felt that actually it was like mob justice, where people talk about somebody who is there and he's not given a chance before I explain their point of order, and then a decision is taken without sharing properly his side. So that one I'm very happy that now I have this opportunity. And I have no problem to explain any matter for the sake of this country and for what we have been sacrificing for. You know, I feel very proud, and as I have said, this is my home. 33 years of association with an organization is not a joke. And when I look at the allegations, and indeed the allegations which I am supposed to respond to, first there is the question of utterances, and which you have, and the issue of, let me first deal with the issue of utterances on demeaning Parliament. How can I demean my Parliament? Did you see what Honorable Kasiano Wadri was saying? Kasiano Wadri was pointing at me. See, his Parliament itself. He was pointing at me like that. If you see the footage, he was telling you that I am Parliament itself. Really, it's difficult. If there is anybody who wants to have this Parliament perform very well, act very well, it's me than anybody else. And I told you on the floor of Parliament, I don't think anybody loves this Parliament more than me. So on this demeaning of Parliament, first of all, of utterances. What utterances did I make? When, where, and with who? Because with all those questions, I hope this committee should really establish for me. And on the second part, when it comes to the question of misconduct, with regard to my elder sister, Cecilia Ogwara, whom I have also known for quite some time, and as she told you, we've been friends, I would like to find out really, how did I threaten her life as alleged, and what misconduct? You know, when we come to Parliament in the first place, this is the opportunity. This Parliament is the opportunity where you are free to debate any matter freely without fear or favor. And the type of debate we get, which we really sacrificed for everyone to have, is that you should discuss, debate any matter in that precinct of Parliament. And I will explain at an appropriate time in details about that. Now, what I would like to bring to the attention of this committee, because we should not do things just on top and rush on a smaller item. We should ask why is this committee here? Why was it established? The Committee of Rules, Privileges and Discipline. I know why it was established. I have been a member of it, and that's another duty. I have been almost all most of the committees. And when we do anything we do, it should be for the better future of our country. So, I'm saying, for one to be sent here, there should be a process. According to our Rule 172 of this committee, in our rules of procedure, it can be through by the Speaker or by the House sending you there. But how you are sent there should also be analyzed. I would request that this committee find out, was it fair? Was it fair? Secondly, the other principle is that those who are late have the onus on them to prove. That is also another point which I think I want to put on the table. And if you ask why we are doing what we are doing, I actually find that now this is an opportunity, because we are now not investigating Tumwine. Actually, we are investigating our Parliament. Are we doing things rightly? Is our Parliament doing things the way we should? Because that's what this committee should help us. And me, I have no problem. If you think Tumwine is the problem, I am always ready to sacrifice for the good of Uganda, and we move forward. If you think Tumwine is the problem of this Parliament, I want that established. But it should be a very good opportunity. It's a very good chance. All the people I've worked with are there, not only in Parliament, but in the public. And the record is held. So I am stating two things.
Let me, as Chair, take cognizance of the facts and the issues that you have raised. But it would really aid this committee in answering all those questions if we address first the issues that this committee would want you to address, which is, one, the issue of contempt of Parliament as alleged by the utterances which are attributed to you by Honorable Asking Kabushabe. If you could address yourself to those facts first, this will help us establish. We have, as I have told you, had Honorable Kabushabe before this committee. He has given us his side, and this committee is trying to establish those facts, which will then help us determine whether they were substantive enough to have you referred to this committee in the first place. I think that would be a matter for the committee at the end of this to determine whether the facts as alleged, whether the process as it occurred, it happened on that day, really warrants this committee passing any judgment on you. But that is for the committee to decide when we have heard from you, as we have heard from the other witnesses. So I would really request that you try as much as possible to address yourself to the issues that were raised, because there is a question of contempt, there is a question of privilege, which is before this committee, and we want to hear from you what your defense on those allegations are. Thank you.
Thank you. You see, the facts, as I have said, of each allegation, when it started, if you trace the whole process of how it started, there's a lot has been said, both in the House and in the public. A lot. And I had wanted to, it's a lot. I've been compiling what has been going on and trying to get to the facts. And I thought what I would request on the aspect of Katu Shabe's allegations, I would want you to establish, him to establish, rather than me. First, I need to get all the facts, which caused all this. I need time. I would want us to have all the facts that has been put on the floor. I've just finished getting the Hansard recordings. I want all that was said and even said here, so that I have the facts that has led before I respond. That is one, on the Katu Shabe allegation, on the utterances. I need all the facts first for me to be able to respond. I was giving you the background of what is the purpose. Before you do anything, you must ask what is the purpose. Where did it come from? Where have we come from? Where is it now? Where has it reached? It is now at the committee level. Where do we want to take it? Because those are very fundamental questions. And how shall we take it there? Because we must have what we want to get out of this inquiry. The end state, in the military we say, at the end of the war, what will you achieve? So if you have those clear, if we have the facts first, which I need to be compiled, I have just listened to the terms of reference now, here, which you have read to me, and I have put them down. I now know. Now, I cannot quite straight to go to those detailed facts, because the one who has alleged, let him first give all the facts, and if you are satisfied that he has finished and you have gathered enough about those facts on the utterances, and you are talking of 2 utterances in the letter you wrote to me. Yes. Fortunately, I'm glad you have said that even the issue of normal gallery is not part of it, but it is somehow connected. That matter was discussed on the floor. I first discussed it with the Speaker in her office. I made a statement on the floor of Parliament. The statement is there. That matter was finished. Now, so the matter, therefore, the utterance is one of Katu Shabe in my office. It is up to him. Let him prove what I said. He even gave the time, 0827. He means he noted the time, either, and let him prove it, what I said. The onus is on him.
Let me interrupt you here. I think the facts before us are pretty straightforward. These are all instances of occurrences in which the accusers, Honorable Katu Shabe, Honorable Cecilia Okwal, are on one side and on the other side. This meeting took place in your office. We've had Honorable Atkins here. He has told us, yes, we met, and we had 3 hours of jovial conversation. Then when I raised the issue of the abattoir, and I pointed out to the General that I was going to raise this matter on the floor of the House, this is what transpired. So really, all that the committee wants to hear from you is your version of what happened in the office on that day. When he came and you had that 3 hours with him, what he is saying you said. Is it true? Was it said the way he put it or not? That is all. Secondly, we have watched the CCTV footage of what transpired in the Pigeonhole lobby.
Chair, can I request?
And all that we are asking you to tell us is, as you are aware, the CCTV footage of Parliament does not have audio. We see you walking up to someone and a lot of gestures. And Cecilia, while honorable member, has told this committee that you were actually, 1, calling her a liar, 2, threatening her for what she had just said on the floor, for which she felt that her privilege as a member of Parliament to debate, to say anything on the floor without fear of repercussions was infringed on. So all that you have to tell this committee is just that I was walking out, I saw Cecilia while I walked up to her, and this is what I said to her, and then I walked out. Then it is up to this committee to establish that between what Honorable Katushabe has told us and what you have told us, where does the truth lie? Between what Honorable Cecilia is saying and the witnesses around her have said to us and what your version is, where does the truth lie? And it's just as simple as that. We cannot establish any more facts beyond what we already have and what I have laid out to you. So we really would just want to hear your response to what Honorable Atkins said, and then to what Honorable Okupa raised on the floor regarding the interaction between you and Honorable Cecilia Ogwa.
Chair, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I wanted to suggest that we first finish one at a time.
Yes.
Because I was still on the Katushabe thing. And what I can say quickly there, that since I got what he said in Parliament, I would request to hear exactly what he said here. If you could, the committee can give me that. Yes, because it is my right to, what did he say in this, so that I can reply. The onus is on him to prove.
The minister has the floor, and if you are going to interrupt his submission, you let me know on what. Procedure. Okay, procedure then, yes. Thank you. Continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The minister is here to get justice, and his cry has been justice. And he says he was not given ample opportunity on the floor to get the justice. From what I have heard him say, in law we call it having further and better particulars. Okay? If the minister is not possessed with further and better particulars to give him opportunity to adequately respond to the issues, then in the interest of justice, an opportunity should be accorded to him. If there is information that he needs to allow him adequately make a defense, that information, that opportunity must be accorded to him. Otherwise, we are going to land into the same trap or discomfort that he expresses when he talks about the floor. The Honorable Katushabe was here, the minister was not here. There was a footage here which the minister could have watched or not, because it was on the media. Maybe perhaps through you, Mr. Chairman, the minister could ask the record of this house, of this committee, okay, what the witnesses have stated and the information that we have, so that he prepares himself on the basis of the information before this committee. But you are going to explain to him, he's going to hear, but still, and I think what we should not do is what we call trial by ambush. Okay, in practice we call it trial by ambush. So I think let us make these proceedings as fair as possible by availing all the necessary information to him. For example, there was a statement which was on the floor. Okay, I don't know whether the minister has a copy of that statement or not. There was a footage which we observed in this committee, which the media has also put out. Okay, I don't know whether the minister has had opportunity to watch that footage or not. So whatever information we have as a committee, we should avail it to the minister, or we should have availed it to the minister, so that by coming here is responding to information that we already have. Otherwise, the danger I see is the minister will come here and will say, I'm getting information here and I need time. That's the guidance that I thought we should give in that regard.
Thank you very much. In addition to what he has just said, it is now a constitutional requirement that all parties must be accorded fair hearing. And when you look at our various rules of practice as Parliament, we must admit that this committee wields the powers of the High Court, particularly when it pertains to receiving evidence and also the manner in which we receive witnesses in a committee. Therefore, it is not injurious if the journal or our witness as such is given sufficient information relating to this subject matter. Information from the time when this matter cropped up in Parliament, that record must be availed to him as a committee. Number two, yesterday, as you are rightly aware, we received about 4 witnesses. These witnesses had their own versions of stories, varying from one angle to the other. That one necessitates us availing the witness sufficient information to prepare his defense. And it will be on that basis that we shall be able now to sit as a committee and decide the way we are going to decide. However, for avoidance of anything that may vitiate the veracity of our report, we shouldn't, in my humble opinion, deny him the opportunity to be given not only sufficient time to prepare his defense, but also sufficient information that we received as a committee to enable him sufficiently defend himself. So we must bridge all the loopholes to vitiate our report. That is my humble observation.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think I just want to add something further to what my colleague said. That I guess the difference here is the presumption of innocence and the right to a full disclosure to make a full answer. So I want to agree with my colleagues that given that in this case he is the accused, the accusations are being leveled against him, and also recognizing that this is a quasi-judicial process, I think some sort of modification can be given. And I think what is of interest here is probably also making an assessment of, I know we are pressed by the time frame we have been given, but equally I think we need to know probably how much time. It's difficult, but I know, I guess before getting the information, that can always ask for more time if need be. But I think the question of a fair hearing, given that he has already raised those procedural issues, that he was not given a fair hearing on the floor of Parliament, and recognizing that at the end of the day, whatever we do here could be a subject of judicial scrutiny. I think it is prudent that we give them that opportunity to have a full answer and full disclosure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, members. I have heard your concerns.
Yeah.
With regard, yes, please.
Yeah, I want to thank you and I want to thank the General for coming to this committee. In his submission,
Honorable member, are you issue raising, is it related to the procedural matter that was raised?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, sir.
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, the issue I'm raising is just on addition to the procedural matter raised by my colleague. the Member of Parliament for Bugiri municipality, that as true as the General was submitting during his introduction, and in his submission he was really asking whether he was brought in the committee fairly. I want to do the confidence in him that he is in the very right place, even if he was giving a statement of how he has grown in the institution of Parliament and how he really sacrificed for the democracy and the Parliament to be there. Although some of us keep asking ourselves, how would we have come from our mother's wombs to come and sacrifice? But what is very important is him to be confident and comfortable that he's in the right hands, and I think this committee is going to do its justice to make sure that the truth is found, so that some of us who were admiring to join the army when we are still young, we can still have more confidence in the army. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Let me make a comment. Now, honorable members, you have raised procedural issues. I have taken cognizance of these issues that you have raised, bearing in mind that on the 23rd of July, when Honorable Atkins Katushabe raised this matter on the floor of the House, the General was very willing and indeed even attempted to get up and defend himself on the floor of the House on that day. In my opinion, the first complaint of the General was that he was then denied an opportunity to defend himself on that occasion. I do not see how it would arise now that the General needs more time to do what he was prepared to do on the floor of the House on that day. So in my opinion, the allegations as laid out by the Honorable Atkins Katushabe are very clear and straightforward, and I do not believe that we need any more time to be able to do anything other than what we have done now, which is to lay before the General the allegations as they were laid before this committee. If the General wishes for more time, so be it. But in my opinion, these are straightforward issues of fact of what transpired in your office. And they are on record. I have read them out to you. All you have to tell the committee is what exactly happened when Honorable Katushabe was in your office. As regards the matter of the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, I will defer to the points, the procedural issues that have been raised, and I will request that the Security Department avail you an opportunity to view that CCTV footage, and which I think can even be. Would you need to view that footage now, or do you need? It's a very short footage. We can arrange for it to be brought here and you view it, because this committee has 2 weeks to report to the House, and the footage is ready. You can view it and then really tell us what your interpretation of the footage is, and I think that would be that. But as to the impartiality of this committee, you can be assured that every member of this committee is as determined as possible to see that this matter is put to rest and that we move on. What transpired should be known not only to this committee but to the rest of the members of the House. Could you liaise with security and see if they can bring that thing down? So I think the question of the allegations by Atkins Katushabe, really I don't see why we would need, because you are on record as having attempted, not once but twice, to get up and give clarification on that matter on the floor of the House that day. Yeah, so this is your opportunity now. In my opinion, you are ready, and this is your opportunity to clarify to the committee what exactly transpired on that day.
I would be ready, Honorable Chair. I was ready at that time to give it. And I was not given the opportunity. And since that time, a lot more has now, as a result of that, a lot more has transpired. And I want to tell you that I'm trying to take the time of Parliament, because it is in my interest to get this matter out in 2 weeks, as soon as possible. I have already got the footage of what transpired in Parliament, so that one I already have. I have Kapshabe's presentation. And after that, of course, what has fired, I've been following up. After that, then came in the Honorable Cecilia Guar's issue. She went to NBS, and in the evening and in the morning, I've just got the transcription of what happened there. Last Saturday, she went in Dokoro Radio and addressed the public in Lango. And then he came to this committee and said what he said, which I need to get the full detail of what he said. And as I've said, so that I see whether as I said, the onus is on him to prove and then I will give my response. So that's why I'm saying, and I don't want a lot of time. If you give me 2 days, I will be ready. Give me 2 days, I will be ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The question of procedure I just want to raise, having heard from the Adjournment, is that this committee is not on a fishing expedition. We are only dealing with matters as contained in the terms of reference, which I am sure you did serve on the General, which terms of reference emanate from the proceedings that are captured in the Hansard, and I hope the Hansard, a copy of the Hansard was given to the General. The matters that transpired thereafter are not a concern of this committee. Our interest is only in the allegation as contained in the copy of the Hansard. If members have subsequently gone to NBS, to whichever radios, I beg the General not to make this committee go into a fishing expedition. We're interested to know matters as per the Hansard. What happened thereafter is none of our business. And if the General has the Hansard, would it not be procedure right that he responds? These are simple matters. That he responds to the allegations as per the Hansard. And then we move. There are other matters this committee is supposed to be handling.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Member. Exactly the point I'm trying to make is that General.
By Kapshabe in this committee and the witnesses against me require by our rules of procedure, by the rules of justice, that I get that sufficient information in order for me to respond. And I have said I am trying to save as much time as possible for this committee. And on this matter, I am not compromising, because you see, when we give the rights, the Constitution says, in the enjoyment of your rights, by anybody, even by the whole Parliament, you should not infringe on the rights of any person. And the parliamentary practice is that even if the majority are agreed on one point, the minority have the right of being heard. And therefore, you should be heard in an environment where you are given equal opportunity. And that's what I am demanding. I need to know the allegations made against me so that I respond accordingly. And that is the simple point for very senior citizen of this country.
Thank you very much, General. As I have pointed out, yes, please.
I don't know whether you're making a ruling. Can I have something to say?
Please.
I have listened to
colleagues, and as Elly Tumwine rightly notes, he's the longest serving member of parliament. And as such, he should be conversant with the rules of procedure and how this house works. Allegations of this nature are never prosecuted in the house. It's not possible. Matters or issues come up on the floor of the house, but eventually if the house must take a well-informed decision, they are referred to a committee. That does not necessarily mean it's all about discipline, but any other matter. You don't stop members from making statements in the house or immediate reactions. I think where Elly Tumwine gets it not correct is to imagine that the process we are going through now should have been in the house. It's not possible. It's only in the committee that you are afforded this opportunity, including of bringing evidence. Because in the house, you are not there as an accused. You are there as a member of parliament. Whereas this process is now looking at you as somebody who has been complained against, and therefore this process is in place. So the only place where you can say you were unfairly treated can only be here. Because here we are supposed to be listening and also getting evidence from both sides. And actually looking at analyzing at the allegations in detail and make a report to the House for further decision. So don't compare what goes on here to what goes on in the House. And that's the procedure, that's the practice of this House, for which you have been a member, and as you rightly put it, the longest serving. I have also listened to you about the onus of proof, and also to a colleague of mine who has raised the issues of the High Court. Colleagues, this is not a High Court. This is not a criminal court. As the chair rightly puts us, our powers compared to the High Court are limited. They are really limited. Having power to summon witnesses and take what? Evidence, or compel witnesses to attend. That is the only extent to which we can. Our rules of procedure are different from rules of court. Our rules of procedure are exactly those you are holding. Does Elly Tumwine have a right to be heard fairly? That is basic. He does have that right. That's right. However, I am uncomfortable, and if I may counsel Elly Tumwine, by my age, it might be a little bit awkward though. You see, when you start repeating, we've sacrificed, we fought, you are corroborating actually the allegations against you. Unfortunately.
Listen.
Well, I am counseling. You may listen, you may not. That's okay. So to me, I think let us focus.
There is a chair at the end of all of this, and I would request that when a member is speaking, if a member feels the need to interrupt, then we should do it through the chair, because our rules of procedure do apply even in committee hearings. And I would also request that we really do adhere to the rules which require that we give respect to one another in the course of our interactions. So the honourable member has the floor, and if anybody feels that he has something that is so urgent that the member should be interrupted, it should be in the normal procedural way. Thank you.
you, Chair. You see, I think it will take this committee to the trial straight away if our witness repeats actually the very words he's being accused of. You may reflect on it, but I view that the view of we are fought, we sacrifice, they are the sort of allegations.
Clarification.
Honorable Chair, am I accused of saying we have sacrificed? Am I accused of saying that that sacrifice has brought this atmosphere? Can I prove that that is a fact unarguable and that should be withdrawn, that anybody can accuse or say we didn't sacrifice? I have one eye.
Oh, okay.
Yes, listen. What was it for? So anybody who accuses talking about our sacrifice as an accusation should withdraw it. That's not something you can. It's not an allegation. It is a fact. And many of our colleagues who died, many of our struggles, many of our efforts to bring democracy and enjoy this peace is not something that you don't want to hear. Whether you like it or you don't want to hear it, it is a fact. Hate it or love it, and don't use it as an accusation, you'll be wrong.
Procedure, Chairman.
Procedure.
First of all, that allegation is actually what Honorable Katushabe said in the House. The very allegation and the very utterances General Tumwine is making are the very words he's being accused of. So I don't know whether it is an admission, he wants us to take it from there or not. However, to us, you may repeat them as you repeated them maybe as you say them to the Honorable Atkin Katushabe. The choice is yours. However, let me say this, because we are not yet into there, and he has not yet responded whether he actually said them in those words. So now he's repeating them. So, what I think General Tumwine could be entitled to is the evidence that was given here by the Honorable Katushabe, which he did not say in the House, that he's entitled to, in fairness. And I request Chair that you allow your Secretariat to have that evidence which was adduced yesterday, all of it, and give it to him. It serves no harm. We may give him a limited time. We could have done that maybe even so that we reconvene tomorrow, because even tomorrow we can reconvene. He looks at it, we don't have to reconvene next week, a short time. But I see something coming up that I was not given opportunity by the committee. I sort of read it like he has said that he was not given opportunity in the House, which actually the answer does not reflect so, because the answer reflects him actually replying, though in the process he didn't have a coherent reply because of interjections. But that opportunity was given to him, because when you read the answer, and I hope General Tumwine you have that answer, The Speaker says, let us hear from General Tumwine now that he's here. The opportunity was given. There is no doubt about it. However, it was never coherent, neither did it go to the end. I remember him, when you read the Hansard, talking about him being saved and so many things. That was an opportunity for you to respond to the allegations, but you chose to talk about the church. Let's do this, Chair. I request you that give the Honorable Tumwine. The record is asking, and we can reconvene tomorrow. He'll have gone through. However, I also request you, Chair, that matters that have happened outside this House may not decided be our concern, may not decided be. Whereas the Honorable Vice was talking about what could this be, let us not speculate. We don't know who said what, that outside this House or outside the House. If there is some evidence that they can bring it. But as of now, let us not speculate for anybody that he now has got evidence contradicting some other evidence. Let us not go on a fishing expedition for evidence to prove or to disprove anybody. What we should be concerned, Chairman, is the evidence that has been brought on tape. And if it has been brought against General Tumwine, like we had evidence yesterday, we give it to him. And we can reconvene tomorrow.
Before I move, members, do you have any additional procedural issues you mentioned that you want to discuss? Honorable Matthew, thank you. Let's be brief. I know there are members who are really supposed to be in another committee.
Thank you, Bwana Chair. I'm talking on a procedural matter, whereas as I agreed that my senior colleague in this country, General Tumwine, and his colleagues sacrificed very well for the democracy and the peace we're enjoying. Whereas I, as a senior member of parliament, and also as the chairperson of NRM in Busia municipality, whereby I have 80% of the young people who are enjoying the democracy that our grandfathers and fathers sacrificed for. I think the rules of this committee give justice to everybody equally. I therefore request that when he's before this committee, everybody knows the sacrifice that was there, and we really appreciate to an extent that we are here. I pray that when he's giving submission, to build the confidence in other members who have given their evidence, let's use a language that can make the committee have a way to give decisions to everybody in an equal way. Because when we keep putting emphasis to the fighting, and almost 70% of the young people were not born, and moreover we need them in our government and the regime of NRM, I think it can bring a bias. I therefore want to encourage him that this government belongs to all of us, and we do appreciate the peace, democracy that they brought. But for the matter that is before the committee, I request the General to submit as a member of parliament, fine who is senior, but also as a senior member of the ruling regime and the Army Council. And I believe that when this will be done, it will build more confidence in the people outside there who have a lot of hopes and are waiting to hear what comes from this committee. And I also want to encourage him that there is no bias here, whether somebody is senior or this is his first term. If anybody brings evidence over the committee, it will be taken with justice. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Honorable members, if we are going to reconvene tomorrow, as then I would request that kindly let us not prolong this process. I will have the Honorable Abbott and then, yes, Honorable Sekukubo, and then, okay, before Honorable Sekukubo, let me have Namoy Stella, then I will have you last and I'll rule. Let it be that. Honorable members, please. We can't be here forever. There is a very important matter before the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee that needs the contribution of members. So please, and kindly let us refrain from making speeches. Let's just be direct and to the point. I don't mean you. I just mean everybody who is going to speak after this. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. I'm happy once again to have come to this committee this morning. But there is something I'm also witnessing, Mr. Chair, which we must be very careful. And I request with due respect to General Elly Tumwine. When we bring democracy, we fight and we sacrifice. It is something that is known to everybody, and it should not be a song wherever we move. Because going and bringing democracy simply does not give us a leeway in any way to use it as a tool to infringe on others. I'm not saying infringe on others, someone, but I'm only saying that we are living in a situation which, if we are not careful, we may move from joy to tribulations. So I'm going to request, because wherever I'm seeing this thing here, we fought, yes. We accept and don't accept. Others died, they are not seen. Others gave whatever they were giving. So my humble advice, we should not make the committee to fear, because when you say, I fought, it is a fact, you believe it or not, then you are making me as a committee to fear and say that because you fought, then I should do this one. So that is my humble advice, that let us be members who respect each other regardless of what contribution we made to this country. Then we can make a fair hearing and judgment. Thank you very much.
Please.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chair. First, I would want to thank General Elly Tumwine for having appeared to this committee. From the witnesses we have so far interacted with, I remember it came to our notice that the witnesses did not make their submissions in written, and this has come up now from Elly Tumwine. So I beg that the clerk can do the needful, that before we convene tomorrow, even as members, we might need to have some guidance of the submissions that the witnesses made to the committee, so that we can be able to interact well. Thank you.
Yeah, we do, the clerk and the secretariat always take very good records of submissions that are made here. Maybe what we will do is have those witnesses verify that indeed that is what they say, and then give them to the general. There is no problem. Members, the CCTV footage which was requested, and it's on about 5 to 7 minutes, is here. My request was that we watch it together with the general, and we can note the points that we wish to raise tomorrow when the general comes. I really am, I know there are members here who have very important issues in the legal, and they would wish to go. So I want us to keep this as short as possible. We view this, we take note of what we want to raise tomorrow, and I hope, General, you will be able to answer those questions tomorrow. Honorable Sekukubo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mine was really to urge, Mr. Chairman, that you allow the members' request, the witnesses' request. It may not necessarily be 2 days, but you avail the information to him so that tomorrow he doesn't raise the same issue on the floor of Parliament. So I requested for the flexibility. But having said that, Mr. Chairman, I would also urge the witness to look at these members. These are your colleagues in Parliament. If there was anything that was misunderstood, come out, explain freely. They'll listen. Rather than taking a hard line, and yet you are before your colleagues. Take it in good faith. Once they are guiding, once the chair is guiding, take it in good faith, listen. Learning does not end. And lastly, from a personal point of view, you see, you look at your audience, and it's true. Whereas you are alleging that other statements have been made outside, we have equally read the statements made by you in Mbarara, but these have not been brought here. What is really the four corners you have are the allegations on the Hansard. Make the best of it. But when again you readmit, again you are admitting the statements, indeed as they were alleged by a complainant here. It is as if you are admitting, and if that is the spirit, that you don't want to waste the committee's time. But if the statements which you are making again are reflecting on those statements which have been laid before this committee, in other words, you are agreeing to them. If you don't want to waste the committee's time, probably you've made an admission on those very statements. And lastly, whereas the fighting is good.
Which ones are mine, which are alleged against, which I was referring to? I want a clarification. Which ones?
When you say you fought as a justification for your actions, or general, for that you fought for, it's well admitted and understood. But again, it's not good to fight only to hold the freedom at ransom. You can't hold it hostage. It's important you fought, and everybody is grateful. But you don't go on to hold that freedom hostage. Because once you state that, then you are alienating yourself from the cause for which you fought for. The cause was against that attitude, that conduct exactly. You can't reinvent it again and bring it back. It is in those...
Okay. Can we have a response from you then?
Yeah.
I will make a motion.
You see, Honorable Chair, I really don't know how one can convince everybody. First of all, one of the greatest virtues and values of this parliament is that we agree to disagree. If there is anybody I have disagreed quite often with, is honorable, my honorable colleague here next to me. And he knows we disagree, we argue, he has his view, I have mine. And I want to really, this conduct of talking, if talking about sacrifice, if you don't like it, because I have a lot of confidence in this committee, and as you have seen, you have seen those who have defended what I was requesting were doing it because they think it is fair, and that's what I expect from this committee. Only that if I say something, whether you don't like it or like it, first ask, is it true or not true? Because the truth, we cannot keep away from the truth. And this, if you feel so bad about talking about sacrifice, what shall our children do if they are not told that kino kyekiseera mwe tulina okulwana mu biseera by'omumaaso tufune emirembe? If we don't solve the problems now, if we don't really work to save the situation now, we will be laying ground for not the future. So it is a principle saying it is good to sacrifice for your country so that there is something. So don't hate it, don't love it, and let's talk. Let's do things for the future. Give hope. Don't give pessimism. Don't give. I am here and I have a lot of confidence in this committee. Members have already defended the interest of fair justice, of principal justice. I am willing, and if I may finish so that we save time for those who want to go. Can we have the committee in the afternoon? Because if I get this evening or tomorrow. Can we have it in the afternoon? Tomorrow afternoon, yes? Yeah, afternoon would be most convenient. Yeah, it's okay.
I'm done with this prayer time. Juma.
Honorable members and our esteemed witness, I think the issue that is bothering members, and I think, General, you have been the chairman of the General Court Martial, and you're aware that not all information, however factual, may be relevant to a matter that is before you. And this is where the members are wondering, how does all this information aid this committee in arriving at the truth of the facts?
A charming destination full of hidden and overt beauty in every sense. The breathtaking sceneries of the Pearl of Africa will make you overly joyous. Uganda is a fairy tale. The Pearl of Africa offers the best of East and West Africa. Magnificent waterfalls, geological features, the culture, the people, the sights, the sounds. Be a part of this. Tour Uganda. Explore, adventure. Enjoy this spectacle with us. Coming soon to NTV.
Hello Uganda, I am DVD Afro King. Remember that, DVD Afro King, and I've made it to the Hot Step Season 5 finale. So please, vote for me. It would really mean so much to me. Remember the name, DVD Afro King, Hot Steps finalist. Let's go.
To vote for DVD Afro King, dial *210*99#, type 3 and send. Sting, live switched on.
On the next episode is brought to you by Roofing's Strength of a Nation.
What is the matter? Why are you yelling? They're taking him away. They're taking him away. Who are they taking away? Andres, the authorities are taking him away. Oh, don't be ridiculous. My Andres wouldn't even kill a fly. Pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm serious. With me. Andres! Andres!
No, don't you dare. I would rather die and rot